Do you know, does the local police force get federal money for participating?
Yes,
like, is there a monetary incentive?
That's comes with the same community part. That everyone, I don't know if you have been aware that some states, the government say we're not going to participate, like New York government, and I say in California, and I'm not sure is Wisconsin or Chicago. A few states are saying we're not going to comply. But a few weeks, I don't know, it's 2 weeks ago, they say no, that this is a federal, and no one had the choice not to participate. Then even though we were trying to see if we can get municipalities or governments to say we're no longer going to support say community, now is that everyone need to participate. And another question or comment?
One thing I noticed, I've recently moved to North Carolina, and even I have to transfer my driver's license to register my car. And it's ridiculously, I mean, I have a valid driver's license from another state in this country, and it does not matter if I don't have a Social Security card. So I had to go myself to the Social Security office and do that, and it's just like a really interesting experience how much that legal status is pushed at like kind of every level of documentation. Yeah.
I have a question about what are the conditions in the Immigration Service detention facilities, and how long are people held in incarcerated and by private jails before they're sent away?
Okay, as far as I know, because I've been in North Carolina for the last year, what I have known and here is that after they detain you and put in the municipal jail, they send you to either Charlotte or they send you to Georgia to be processed for immigration issues. They don't really hold you here for more than a month, maybe less than a month, and they transfer. And what happened is that and that's part of what neighborhood power do to try to find it out, because sometimes it happened in Asheville and Henderson that people were detained at checkpoints and the family didn't know where they were sending. And sometimes they were really quick. That in less than 48 hours you don't know where your relative is, and other times they take more than a week. And then people can figure it out where they are and where they're going to be transferred. But most of the time when they have been transferred to Atlanta is because they're going to be deported very quickly. Then it depends where have you been detained and how long you've been detained. We don't have any specific time frame to say, oh no, we have time, we have 30 days that he or she is going to be in this place. That is something that we don't really have.
So there is
a favor to say that, oh, we have a time to look for a lawyer. And that's the other thing that I find it out in North Carolina is not that many immigration lawyers, at least in Asheville. We really have a need for immigration lawyer, because to be a lawyer not necessarily means that you know what the immigration law is about. And that's another big need that we have in the community.
One other level of detention centers that I've recently found out about is that they're for-profit detention centers. They're private. So there's like Correction Corporations of America, the GEO Group are two of the biggest ones. And they're actually making money off of having immigrants detained. You know, they make every day per immigrant a certain amount of money. And they're behind drafting a lot of these anti-immigrant laws too that will, you know, put a lot of immigrants in their jails and make money off of it. So.
Yeah, on that, I was wondering if you could talk about Arizona's SB 1070 and Georgia's similar law and what some of these laws are.
I'm just going to give you my personal opinion because I don't really, I was living in Georgia a year ago, But I left Georgia last year. Then I don't really know that much. But what I know is that now, if you are driving with someone who doesn't have an immigration status and you are stopped, you're also going to be detained because you are trafficking.
Wow.
Okay, then that's really something that is really bad for us, because even our allies now are going to be put in also in the same position as an immigrant, even though you don't going to have maybe the same fines, because I don't know yet, what are the fines if you're driving, but that's something that it happened this a few months ago in Georgia. And also, they say that that was a copycat of the Arizona law, but it's a little worse than what happened in Arizona. Then I say in North Carolina, we need to be aware and be ready to do the fight that doesn't happen here. But it's really a really bad situation, and I don't have any, I was living in Georgia for 3 years. It was really very hard to organize, and because people doesn't know you and they didn't trust you, and it was difficult to find space to work there. And I was lucky that I moved to Asheville and be able to work and do, because part of my job in New Jersey, I was doing the community organizing and also the immigrant drive. Anything else?
Sorry, I'd love to hear also about what are people doing. So what is the response from community? So you talked a lot about like Nuestro Centro, but like what are other actions that other groups or individuals are taking to fight this?
I know that the Coalition for Latin American Organization in Asheville is trying to provide training, and also like the Center for Participatory Change also try to provide. Now next weekend they're going to have a race training between immigrant community and African American, because I think it's a need that people understand and know why we're here. And now that I go in that part, I will tell you a little bit about why is Salvadorians in the United States, because in the 80s the government of the United States support the government of El Salvador with an amount of money that it was almost $2 million a day spent to support the war that killed 75,000 people and forced us to emigrate to the United States. We didn't come because we want to be rich. We came because we need to live and because we have families that we need to keep and support. And that's a reason that people need to know that, even though you were not asked to participate, but your taxes participate in a way to support, the military aid to El Salvador. And later in 1991, when the peace accord took place, that amount of money, it was not spent to support, rebuild the country that you have helped to destroy. Then that's also something that we need to be aware, that immigrants are not necessarily coming because they want to be rich, but because we want to survive. And part of what we need to do is try to share, okay? And that's why I believe that, being here is an opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we're doing now, and also what happened and why you need to play a different role to be involved and to know that it's not only the struggles that are happening here, but also what the struggle that you have caused in other places. It needs to be known, and how we can support each other. And Also, I said that if we go and ask, we need part of nuestro centro is like we are looking for allies and also space for the community, the immigrant community to share. But also it's good that if we can be in solidarity and learn what are the struggles like what happen in other part of the states that affect the community that in some way have a repercussion to that is going to impact the immigrant community.
I have a very rude, difficult question to ask because my father is a Republican and believes that immigrants are here taking money away from non-immigrants and that they're not contributing financially to the Social Security system, and then they're getting free health care and free this and free that. And I know in my heart that this is ridiculous, but I haven't yet figured out what I should say to him.
Okay. My first response will be with another question. I think you need to ask your father where he comes from, and he's not original from this continent.
Right.
Because I like that question because you give me opportunity to stand a little bit more than okay. That will be one of my first questions. I usually that's the way I start responding to the next question. First is a myth that we are taking money away because the money that we as immigrants with no immigration status contributed to the Social Security is a lot of money because for any reason, or the reason that we don't have an immigration status doesn't give us the right to do taxes at the end of the year, then all the money that we have paid working and contributed to the Social Security, to unemployment, we are not able to get it back every year. And if you count all the years that people have been living in this country and contributed to Social Security, then that will be one of the answers. And also the free care, health care is a big question mark.
Doesn't
Because I was gonna say where are the places, and every time those places are being reduced because of the situation. And if you are in this country and you go and buy food, you are paying taxes. And you are here, you need to get clothes, you're paying taxes. Then what are the money that we are taking away when we are working in conditions and with salaries that is not necessarily the same salary as U.S. citizens? And to begin, I said will ask that question because if you are Native American, then you have the right to ask the question regarding immigration. Because for me, I consider an immigrant someone who came from Europe or another continent, but if you were born in this continent, and the continent is from the North Pole to the South Pole, okay, then we are Americans, and that's what I prefer to be called. But I think I go a little bit far down with the call because I think we are human beings. And that will be something that we need to understand, that as a human beings we have needs, and basic needs that need to be fulfilled. And we are not taking anything from anybody because we are here working and doing most of the job that people don't want to do, like is taking care of growing the food that you put on your table, taking care of your children, or doing the work that no one wants to do, cleaning. And I think that gives us, our work gives us the right to be where they work.
I'm going to play this workshop for him.